yourself and comfortable in your skin and just represent what's real to you.
I'm very much in a space right now where I'm not doing anything that's going to compromise my peace and happiness. So I think just taking control, making sure you like maintain your power, don't give your power away to anybody. That I feel like is the key to like truly being happy.
Hey, bro, you better get ready to buckle up because this shit don't get no easier, bro. Once you think the grind gets easier, come on, bro, you silly, man. This grind's only for the strong ones, bro. And if you weak, I suggest you go ahead and leave. It's tough, but it's true. Be safe.
Until you figure it out, find you a hustle, make your money, and like you gotta have something figured out to like.
What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Creative. Go ahead, say it with me. We are back at it again to do what? To create something great. Now today I'm super excited what I have planned for y'all. We're going to be creating a 0DTE strategy for SPY. SPY is the S&P 500. It is the top 500 companies within the New York Stock Exchange. And we're going to be creating a strategy from start to finish, right? So I don't know if y'all remember, right, our process and how we create strategy. So we just don't go to the bot and paper trade, right? We want to be able to come up with a strategy. Then we're going to back test the strategy. Then if needed, we're going to bring in machine learning and maybe walking forward validation. Then we're going to create the bot. So we're going to do all of these steps up until bot development. And I maybe have like a bot or two that I need to develop with y'all too. So we're going to be deep diving into a bit of things. And I don't know if I'm going to be bringing it in yet, but I may bring Claw out, but I don't know, right? So follow me, but don't follow me, right? So this is where we're going to start, and then we're going to back test, and then if we need it, we're going to bring in machine development. So let me just keep it right there. And right now I'm looking at the S&P 500 on the trading view, and each one of these candles represents 1 minute of action. So what we're going to be doing is using trading view in order to come up with our strategy, right? So TradingView is a free platform where you can not only chart different assets, stocks, ETFs, crypto even, right? But there's a community within here that develops different strategies, right? And what we're going to be doing is taking one of those strategies and then redeveloping, putting our own stank on it, for lack of better words, so we can be able to create this. So what I want to do is just zoom in a bit so I can make sure y'all really see this. Again, I'm on TradingView. Let me go ahead and drop this in the comments so y'all can follow me with this as well. What I also want, fam, is, you know what I forgot is, let me get the vibes right for y'all, because we're chilling today. Let me bring you here. All right. Y'all let me know if that's too much. If it is, I'll switch it back up. All right. Bet. So we're in TradingView. I dropped the link for you. What I'm going to do is click on where it says indicators, right? So I'm going to click on indicators. And then now, if I do have anybody here, give me an idea. What do you think we should do? Is there any strategy that you wanted to develop? All right. Looks like we're still building a crowd, ladies and gentlemen. That is okay. All right. So what I'm going to do, let me think. Matter of fact, let's do this way. So I'm going to go to cursor real quick, and then I'm going to go look at the bots that I already have, that are already running. And I want to create a strategy that like I kind of didn't do yet. Like I kind of want to push myself today with regards to this strategy. Oh, hold on one second. Oh, I thought I left something open. I'm like, holy shit, did I leave something open? I didn't though. All right. We're Guapiter. What I want to do is bring in Opus, Opius, Tomato at this point, 4.5. Then I really think it's his birthday. I keep saying, like, I want to figure out why you have this hat. I think it's just your birthday. I don't think it's because of February. Maybe you were dropped in February. All right, where's the bots? Here it is. You know, I'd also need to go grab this prompt real quick. All right. Review our bots and then provide a list of the different strategies that the bots trade so we can keep an account. Make sure to cite your sources in response. You know, there's this other, I'm going to save that for later because I want to use TradingView for this one because I want to get into the habit of being able to show y'all that, like, legit, it is not hard being able to create a strategy, especially when you don't know where to start, right? So what I'm doing right now is, like, I've created at this point like over 75 if not 80 strategies, right? And most of those strategies I was able to go from strategy to bot. Like, not every strat makes it. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, there's some strategies that don't make it out of this first little bucket right here, right? So you have to be able to understand that there's nothing guaranteed when it comes to option algo trading, right? So what I want to do is just create something that's a little bit different that I haven't done yet, right? And then being able to create a strat based on that. So I'm asking Claude Code to go through our bots right now that I have running live and then figure out, okay, these are the strategies that I have. Let's think about another one that we haven't created yet. Maybe we should create one that's just based off candlesticks. I don't know. Maybe we should create one that's based off MACD. The MACD one is coming. The ADX one is coming. That's what I'm saying. Like, I have a couple of bots I need to develop with y'all, but like, first I want to create the strat, right? Once we have the strategy and being able to go, and you seeing my process from start to finish, right? I just want y'all to be able to see like which ones I already have running. And then once we figure out which ones we already have running, then I can kind of like, all right, bet. I already have a couple of mean reversion ones. I already know that. I already have a couple of momentum breakout ones. I already have a couple of trend following ones. I already have a couple of squeeze. I got a couple of gaps. I'm not doing grid because that's fucking annoying. I did that already. What else? Maybe like, I don't know. Let me let Opus being able to help me out with this part, gang. I expect you to take that much, gang. And if y'all do have any questions while I'm doing this, please let me know, right? This is a community effort. Just because I'm behind the keyboard doesn't mean I'm not open to being able to hear a bit of feedback, yeah? I knew it. No, just create another one. All right, I didn't think this was going to take this long, fam. I mean, I get it because there's 13 different bots that you got to go through, but fam, the people that didn't waiting. All right, while I'm doing that, I kind of have one thing I need to go brush up on anyway. All right, 2 seconds while we wait on that. There we go. The output is maybe it's like 14 different bots, fam. So I get it. I shouldn't expect you to like. Here we go. All right, what I'm going to do is while that's still outputting, because I didn't think that was going to take that long, fam. All right. So again, I told y'all I already have a momentum breakout strategy. I already have breakout strategies. I already have gap strategies. I already have squeeze strategies. We already have mean reversion. So I have quite a few because I think that's where like I'm hanging my hat on is mean reversion strategies. I've seen a lot of interesting things there. We already are creating a ADX one, so that's coming to the VWAP strategy. I'm creating the bot for that. Like, I want something that's a bit different. I kind of already have a pullback strategy, so I don't want to go there. All right, beautiful. Yeah, I've reviewed. It only took you 30,000 years, bro. All right, it's about to output. 3 minutes, 3 minutes and 50 seconds for this. I didn't think it was going to take that long, bro. I would love for us to be able to get that output. Come on, people. This is crazy, Claude. Like, what the fuck you got going on? All right, beautiful. Thank you. Holy shit. Your fleet is remarkable. Well, okay, stop. So we have a momentum breakout strategy. We have 5 bots that are momentum breakout. Then we have mean reversion and exhaustion strategies. We have squeezing compression, structural price based. All right, I'll take that. And then crossover trend following. All right. All right, beautiful, beautiful. All right. For the rest of this sprint, keep your responses under 228 total tokens unless we tell you otherwise. Now, we are wanting to develop a new algo bot strat, right? Based on what we have. We want something completely different. Give me 8 great ideas and rationale why. All right, Guapiter. So we're going to get that response. All right. So VWAP reversion, I already have a VWAP coming, so I'm not going to do that one. Order flow imbalance, I kind of don't want to do that for 0DTE. Bid side ratio on the underlying entirely based on the data. No, I'm not doing that. Correlation divergence between SPY and QQQ. When SPY and QQQ spreads diverge from the intraday norms, trade the laggard. You have no pair / relative. Order flow momentum, unusual call / put ratios on the option chains itself. No box currently reading this. Tick momentum, nope. Fibonacci retractment zones, or time of day seasonal, or volatility, smile skew. Trade, put, call, skew, invert. Okay. Bruv. No. These aren't going to work. So we have momentum breakouts, mean reversions, right? Give us a type that fits along that, but still is creative enough that we can build on. Yeah, I'm about to just drive the boat. I'm trying to give y'all a little bit of like, all right, let me just like really take my time and think about this. Yo, how we doing? My fault. I've been just arguing with Claude Code real quick for a little bit. I'm trying to get it. I hope all is well, Pascal. Thank you for joining us. Right now I'm trying to come up with a like idea of where we should go for creating a new strategy. Because I haven't done that in a while, and I figured let me just go back to what I'm great at. So we're creating a strategy live from start to finish. There's a couple of things that I've learned since the last time we've done this, so hopefully it'll be something that works. So trend acceleration, failed breakout, that's an interesting one. Detect a breakout that reversed within 2 bars and then exploit the trap traders. That's an interesting one. So let me do this failed breakout one. I haven't seen that one yet. Trend acceleration, volume, climax reversal, engulfing candle reversal, momentum continuation. I kind of already have that. Let me do this. Pull back to trend, momentum divergence. So let me do this failed breakout one. I think I'm getting jiggy with that one. All right, so what I'm going to do, let's come back to trading view, and again, because I know we haven't been here, so I'm going to click on indicators, and then we're going to do failed breakout. All right, so we have a failed breakout detection. We have a Bollinger Bands with a Keltner squeeze or order flow. So I'm going to click on this failed breakout detection, and then you see these brackets here. It's going to give us a source code. I'm going to click on the source code, and then here, this is going to be the script for the start of our strategy. So this is the failed breakout. I just want to, oh, y'all can't really see this. Hold on. Here it is. I just want to see if there's anything that I can just, like, real quick, just doing a quick review. I want to have Claude Code explain this to us, but I just want to do a quick review. All right, bet. I'm not seeing any like indicators pop out right now, but that's fine. All right, now what we're going to do is close this folder. Come back to here. We're going to go back to our main option folder. Here we go. Give me 2 seconds because I may have left something open. So I was working early this morning, like 4 or 5. Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't leave anything open that I wasn't supposed to. Bet. Bro, this thing is just going like awfully slow lately. All right, go ahead and drop in 4.6. Let me go copy the strategy real quick. All right. And back testing. Then for the duration of the sprint, keep your responses under 228 total tokens for each output response. Review the following time script. Explain to us before we begin to adapt for a 0DTE SPY algo strat that we're going to backtest. Beautiful. All right, this is a failed breakout detection FBD indicator, a mean reversion setup that identifies when the price breaks out above the pivot high but failed to hold, a signaling a short entry. This is highly relevant for 0DTE puts. Okay. 3 core. So we have the pivot high detection, find swing highs using the left right look back, default 10 bars each, stores them in an array. New high validation confirms the price made a legitimate new high by checking the highest wick. Okay. Failed breakout. Note these defaults are inverted like a bar. Okay, we have to fix that. All right, perfect. This is the failed breakout strategy that we're going to take. It has the pivot high detection, the new high validation, and the failed breakout entry. All right, now let's discuss being able to adapt for SPY 0DTE on 1 minute charts. 1 minute time frame. I should have said let's just focus on what triggers the you're dealing with 390 bars, rapid gamma explosion of theta. Okay, I understand. All right, I should have just, let's focus on what triggers the signals, both calls and puts. Let's just focus on one part at a time as we are doing this. Oh, Control V. Why did y'all change that? Smart approach, isolating the signal logic first. So a put from the original call. So price makes a new high above the recent pivot high, overshoots within a valid range, not too far, not too little. Within N bars, price drops back within the pivot minus the threshold. Confirm the bearish candle. Okay. Pivot, look back, left, right, 3, feels right for meaning. Okay, the pivot, look back, left is 3, right, left is 5, right is 3, feels right for 1 minute, meaning swinging confirmation after 3 bars. Overshoot zone, a quarter, meaning 25, past the pivot, too small. Okay. All right, back up. Explain how this is like I'm 12, bro. A bit lost right now for regarding the bit of information overload. Let's proceed. A bit, yeah. So think of it like a basketball team fake out. Someone jumps to shoot, breaks above the high, but they don't actually shoot. They just come back down. That would be called a travel. But okay, that's a failed breakout. We're betting that they come back down. Pivot equals the recent price peak or valley, like the highest hill, the highest hill or the lowest dip on a chart in the few minutes. The whole strategy is just SPY pokes above the recent high or the below the recent low. If it doesn't stay there, it comes back. We buy a put or a call to ride it back down or back up. That's it. The numbers I listed are just how much and how fast we'll tune during the back test. No need to lock it in now. Wait, where are we going to start though with this? Lay it out and explain it, how it'll trigger calls and puts. That'll be beautiful, bruv. All right, so put signals the price went up. We bet it's going to come back down. So pivot high, it pokes up, it comes back down. The put triggers here. SPY's been trading and forms a peak, pivot high. Later, the price pushes above that peak. It doesn't hold, it starts dropping back. Once it stops to drop back below, that's the peak. Buy enough and then buy a put. The call is the inverse. In plain terms, we're watching for a fake out in both directions. The price pretended to break out, fails, and then we trade the reversal. The code will scan. Okay. All right, this works. We get it. Now, what are the intervals / periods or figures we are going to use before we proceed to the next part of this sprint? All right, pivot, look back 5 bars. What this means, look back 5 bars to find a peak and valley. Pivot look back right. This whole right left thing, what it means, wait 3 bars after to confirm it was real. That's I don't know. We're gonna wait 3 bars after, wait 3 minutes after we find it. That's kind of tough, fam. I'm probably gonna drop that. Minimum overshoot, maximum overshoot, bar limit. What this means, the price has 8 minutes to fail and then comes back. Reclaim amount, what this means, the price must come back 50 cents past the pivot to confirm failure. Session time, session in. Okay, that's not the session. Why are we waiting 3 minutes to confirm if the move is real? Wouldn't it dissipate by that time? Good question. You're right. On 1 minute bars, 3 minutes is a long time. The move could already be over. The confirmation wait isn't about the trade. It's about labeling the pivot itself. We're saying that the bar 3 minutes ago was a real peak because nothing since then has gone higher. It's looking backwards, not waiting forward. But your instinct is correct. A tighter, maybe better. Okay. This means if the bar makes a recent high, very next bar is lower. That was a pivot, faster detection. But more pivot detected equals more noise. Let's start with 3. Let's start with 3. And then we'll proceed from there. All right. Now I need to create a folder. We're going to do FB. All right, so now we are going to create, oh snap, my fault. And you went that far back. Now we're going to create, okay. For this strat we have here, we want to gauge how many signals this will be able to generate, right? But before, make sure you get this and how we're going to do it. But we have 2 more questions before we create the file. All right, we're going here. All right, count how many. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. First, is this a mean reversion strategy? Yes, failed breakouts, right? But is this a mean reversion strat? What is the academic classification of it? I want to switch this vibe up a little bit. Come on, mouse. Oh, when you gotta cuss with your computer, it just gets annoying, fam. All right, here we go. Mean reversion equals price returning to the average like VWAP. That's not what this is. We're not betting the price returns to a mean. We're betting a specific structural level, the pivot, hold, and reject. So academic classification is a structural reversal and rejection strategy. More specifically, it falls under the failed auction theory. It's not a mean reversion strategy. Okay. So with this type of strategy, what are the stages / cycles that a signal will go through for this type of strat? All right, beautiful. So I had a little bit of confusion. This is a failed auction theory strategy, not a mean reversion strategy. That's what's up. So I'm glad we got that cleared away. So the 5 stages is going to be a structural form, the pivot, establish the high. Then stage 2 is going to be approach. Stage 3 is going to be a breach. Stage 4 is going to be rejection. And then we have the confirmation. All fit, and it flips downside for the pivot. Okay. All right. Before we want to bring this in, and we also want to have a signal strength as well, so we know what type of signal we are getting / generating and how strong it is. How can we do the latter before we proceed? Well, this is interesting. Like, I kind of like doing it this way. I'm not going to hold you, because before I used to, all right, bet, let me just start building out the strategy. But now we're being a little bit more intentional with what we're doing, bro. All right, signal score. We grade each signal 1 through 5 based on how many confirming factors stack up. So what it checks is volume above the average on the rejection candle. Candle size. Is the rejection candle body larger or stronger than the sellers? Overshoot depth. What it checks, it pokes. Did it poke just barely past the fake out? Spread rejection and VWAP and the grade. Beautiful. All right, let's proceed to build it here. This is Guapater, fam. Bro, if I can cuss you out. Let's try that again. Wait. What? You're using Polymart API. Wait, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? We have the data already. Bro, don't assume the data's right there, bro. Review and see how it is done here. Then let's create it for us. Bro. All right, Guapater. Now I just need to go grab the content environment real quick, because I know I'm going to need it. All right, there's the content environment. Let me come back here. Let me just do that. Let's do that. And if y'all do have any questions while we're going through this, please feel free to be able to ask. Yeah. Let me know if the music is a bit too much. I can drop it down while I have Claude Code hullabalooing, whatever the hell that means. Yo, you're like going really slow today. Has anybody else been having that problem? Like this past couple of days, like you've been really taking your damn time, fam. It's not like the people of them are just waiting on you or whatever. That's crazy, bruv. Like I expect you to go a little bit faster. 2 minutes to write almost 800 lines of code is kind of ridiculous. I'm not going to hold you. Now I see the pattern. You were just reading. Good, the data is there from 2020 to 2025. Now let me build it. Okay, you took all that time just to review. This is why I don't like to use the new models as soon as they drop, because they're still figuring out bugs, bruh. There's a lot of bugs here that I don't know, maybe I'm using it wrong. Maybe I need to restart it. I don't know. But bruv, I thought we would have been done by now. Just at least with this first part. Kind of tripping right now, bruv. It's not like we're waiting on you or anything. It's not like we're waiting on you or anything, bruv. All right, so I can show y'all how is this going to look, right? So this is basically what we're rebuilding right now, right? Because with every strategy, we have a process that we do, right? So right now we're in the first step of the process, being able to create the strategy and being able to make sure that it's valid, right? So what I just introduced is being able to do a signal analysis. So what I want to figure out is like, all right, bet I got this strategy. Before I even go to like being able to create a back test, I want to see how many signals are generated, right? So this is another strategy that I was working on last night. This is a scalper strategy. Maybe I'll bring it over to y'all while we're working on this one, right? So I can have a couple of things that we're doing. And what it's doing, it's using the TMO. So as you can see, I love mean reversion strategies. Okay, here it is. It just wrote it. Bet. So FB, FB, FB. And this is for our failed breakout strategy. Boom, here it is. All right, now I can go run it. Because I want to see how many signals are generated, right? If we can figure out how many signals are generated, then I'm like, all right, bet this can work out for us. Because who wants to go to the time of being able to create an entire strategy, right? And you're not generating signals. So it's looking like we're generating signals here. Now I want to see the quality of said signals that we're generating. All right, scanning, pivot. All right, that's not bad. So trading days, total bar. So only 90 signals. That's crazy. Damn, that's crazy. We're barely generating signals, fam. So that's why I do this first, because I want to figure out how many signals we're generating, right? If I'm not generating any signals, then what's the point of being able to like keep developing this strat, right? We ran it for the year. Review. See output. Let's discuss. Now this thing is not sliding the way I wanted to, so I'm saying we probably have to loosen up a couple of things. We're being a little bit too conservative with it. And I kind of already knew that going into here, but I wanted the data to back it up, right? Now that we have the data to back it up, signal volume is low, 90 signals across 251 trading days. That's 3.6 signals per day. Most days produce 0 signals, not enough 0DTE strategies. Why so few? The condition pass rate tells us all. 1834 valid overshoots occur, but not only 90 made it through a signal. 1699 expires. The price breached the pivot but didn't reclaim within 8 bars. That's the biggest league. Only 278 rejections even started and 90 only confirmed. The 8-bar limit plus the recommendation is too strict. The price breaches the pivot but takes longer than 8 minutes to fully reject and reclaim. By then we expire the setup. Widen. Okay. How can we make this a bit more aggressive, right? Is it starting with the 8-bar limit or the reclaim? Advise before we proceed. I'm thinking that we probably need to drop the 8-bar from like 8-bar to like 5 or even 3, so we can get signals generating, fam. Almost 1,700 signals expired because the price didn't reclaim in 8 bars. That's our biggest leak so far. 95% of the valid overshoots died there. Loosening the reclamation amount won't help if the setup already expired before. Order tuning bar. So why let's it breathe more signals loose here. Propose. So why? Wait, why not go from 8 to 5 or 3? Advise why going to 12. Let me know. Boondoggling. That is okay. Going to 3 or 5 will make it more strict, not more aggressive. Here's why. How many minutes the setup has to complete? The price must breach and pivot and reclaim 50 cents within 3 minutes. Almost nothing. Okay. How did we get to the set amount of, okay, let me 50 cents and not based on the percentage or something else that is more dynamic as opposed to the static or fixed amount? Yeah, explain that one to me, whoa. That's a great catch. The 50 cent is completely arbitrary. I pulled it from the reasonable SPY number, but SPY at 400 and SPY at 500 moves completely different. A 50 cent reclaim means something different at low levels versus high volatility day. So better approach is reclaim 1% of the current price, scales the SPY levels, ATR based or percentage of overshoot. ATR is the strongest choice here because SPY with low volatility, small ATR, small reclamation needed. SPY with high volume, large ATR, more reclamation, reclamation, reclaiming is needed. It adjusts day by day. Same logic. Okay. So wait, is ATR period 20? Can we start it faster? Maybe 3 or 5? For 1 minute, you're right. 20 is looking back. 20 minutes was fine, but 3 or 5 would react. Let's see what happens. Very active, spiky with whipsaw, responsive but slightly smoother, stable but slow to adapt. For 0DTE, conditions change minute to minute. An ATR 5 is a sweet pot. 3 maybe too jumpy. 1 big candle will inflate all of your thresholds for the next 3 bars. ATR 5 gives the last 5 minutes real volatility context without overreaching the signal spike. Okay. All right, we go with this. So we aren't touching the look back yet, right? These adjectives today, bro, is hilarity. Correct. ATR 5 is not the look back strategy. Makes sense. It's measuring how big the candles are right now. The volatility rule. The actual strategy look back is the pivot detection. Left 5, right 3. This is what finds the structural levels. ATR 5 just makes the okay. All right, let's do it. Proceed. Combobulating. Now make the 3 changes. We're going to add the ATR calculation, convert the static thresholds to ATR based, and then update the clean overshoot strength to also include the ATR relative. All right, bet. This is why we do it this way, fam. I'm not going to hold you. Like, I don't want to jump straight into the back test. I want to see how many signals are generated. Once I can figure out how many signals are generated, then I can go back test this, right? And I'm not overlooking, I'm not overfitting, right? I want to see if there's going to be activity. If there's not activity, why am I going to the club? Why am I going to the store? So that's what I'm doing right now. I want to see how much activity we're going to be generating. And once we have the activity, once we validated it, then we can proceed to be able to create our back test. So you're seeing everything. You're seeing my process from start to finish, bro. Now let me update the breach, rejection, and reclaim. All right. And there may be a few things that we just learned, like what we just learned right here, right? The whole static 0.5, right? It really doesn't tell me anything. This is just an arbitrary number, some bullshit we picked out the air. So that's why let's clean it up. All right, duopoly. Now we're going to clear. Boom, copy. What I want to do is just say V1 so I can keep all these records, fam. Boom. Clear. All right, let's run it. Let's get it, shawty. So we started at 90, and I want to see if we can get a little bit more signals, right? Based off what we did, we went from 90. Now we have, oh, look at that, a little bit more activity. Holy 1,100 signals, 4.5 per day. So that's what the problem was, right? It was the whole having that arbitrary fixed amount. So bet. All right. Now I'm going to run it on 23. Now review. Then let's discuss. Let me go ahead and make V2 folder right now. V2 ATR 2024. So we can stay organized. V1, this is my baseline. Baseline. Guapata. Something's off. Let me check the data more carefully. What's off, bro? What's off? Are you just doing the most? Are you just doing the most? I think so. I think so. That's still lame. Let me just keep it where I'm at, bro. All right, static. So dynamic, we went from 90 to 1,100, 13 times more. Tradable now, almost active. So our grades, we sold this D grade. We kind of need to flush those out of there. We barely got, we have 17. Okay. The signal is now more realistic, 5 signals a day. Balance calls inputs. The slight peel skew expected for SPY. Almost every day generates signals. Only 2 days with 0. Oh, wait. What is the session time? If it is not 9:33 a.m. to 11:28 a.m., let's update it to reflect this. Burrowing. Like, damn. No the fuck wonder. What I want to do, new folder, E3, session time. All right, we're Gucci. Let me run that again. All right, where we at? Where we at? So we went from 90 to 1100. Now with the proper session, we're at 367. I like that. I'll take that. All right, review. Okay, let's discuss. Then I'm going to run it on 23, maybe 25, and then 22. So we can just start preparing for this, right? So we know how many signals we're generating. So right now it's about almost just under 2 signals a day, like 1.46. We went from 4.6 because that was from open to close. Now 1.46 days without 46, 18, okay. 55% of signals hit the 10 a.m. hour, only 28 minutes left, 5 sync. Okay, it's workable but tight. You're getting about 1.2 opportunities per morning. 46 0-day signals, almost 1 in 5 mornings you sit in your hands. The 10 a.m. hour is okay. How can we make it a bit aggressive, a bit more aggressive, so we can drop that 46 number to approximately less than 10? If we can do that, bruv, that'll be guapiter. And then I got to figure out why we still getting 60. Grade D is still at 62%. But we need to be able to figure that out and see if we can get more grade A and A, B, and C and filter out the D. Pause. That's wild. We identified the earlier, but we never applied it. Okay. Okay. More pivots detected. I'd leave the overshoot reclaim alunder alone. Those are ATR best at working, and keep the cooldown 5 so you don't stack noise. Let's do one at a time. Start with the pivot left to 3 from 5. Let's go there. If we can get this pivot left guapiter, then like we actually making some noise, fam. All right, bet. Now let's go run it again. Gochi. Oh, damn it. Damn it. I didn't get to move it off. Damn, I didn't get to move it in time. Whatever. All right. Review. And then let's discuss. Didn't get to move it in time, but that's fine. I could have looked at it myself. Where we at? 400 signals. All right, bet. So I kind of like that. All right, let me just sit here. Modest improvement, 400. Dropped only 6. We gained 42 signals and we cut 6. How are you testing and accommodating for options volatility? What's up, Chief? I haven't done that yet. What we're doing right now is I'm just going over to see how many signals we can generate, because I don't want to waste my time back testing if I'm not generating signals. So this is something that I just added on to my process, right, where I want to see how many signals I generate, right? And if it can meet my minimum of like, I just want 2 to 3 signals a day, then I'm going to go to the back test. So the way that I'm going to accommodate for it is being able to have a lower max hold time, making sure that we're taking Greeks into account, whether that's delta, gamma, in addition to being able to make sure that we understand IV. So right now I'm just taking my time with being able to do this, but I appreciate you. Welcome aboard. If you do have any other questions, let me know. But again, you're going to see it from start to finish, how I'm doing this. So I may even answer your question as like I'm actually working. But again, welcome aboard. If you have any other questions, let me know. All right, bet. So what we did for being able to go to pivot 5, and this is a failed breakout strategy. So not really a mean reversion, right? What we're doing is that the breakout tried to go, but it failed. We're betting that it's going to keep failing bearish, right? So we're buying a put, or betting that's going to keep failing bullish, so we're buying a call. So either way, so it's bi-directional. It's just not locking us in a put or call. Hold on. All right, I appreciate y'all's patience. Modest improvement. We gained 42 signals, but we cut 6. All right. I don't think that's going to help, but hey, let's go ahead and do that. All right, proceed. So while I was doing that, I kind of missed the session time. So I'm going to do, damn it, V4 bar limit. All right. Now let's go run this again. All right, so I'm trying to see if we can drop that amount of days with no signals just down a bit. If we can drop that down a bit, then I'm Gucci, fam. Okay. So did it make as big of a jump as Jit thought it was going to make? All right, review and let's discuss. That'll be Gucci. All right. Oh, 22. So that's not bad. What's left to try is catch smaller breaches, need less reversal to confirm failure, or allow signals to fire closer together. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's go to cool down from 5 to 3 first. Oh no, let's go to reclaim 0.6 from 0.6 to 0.28. Let's try that. And then I'll run it on 23, 22, and 25. Then we're going to have a basis of where we're at. Then we can start with our back test. All right, go after her. Okay, put you there. Now I can run you there. V5. Reclaim. All right, let's see how much we generated. All right, I'm good here. Yeah, I'm good here. Yep. I really think I can even go back to 8. Okay. Review and let's discuss. And while you're doing that, let me go run 2023. Year 2023. Oh yeah, you got to keep it fun. You got to keep it fun. You got to keep it fun, bruv. That's one of the ways I keep it light here. Okay, days without. All right, beautiful. No, I like it. It is 23. That's 23. Come on, fam. So how long you been option trading, Chief? And how did you find us? And again, I appreciate you for stopping by. All right, let's review 2023 now. Yeah, I still want to figure out this like grade D business and being able to fix that, because that'll be Gucci. Now we got it a little bit more active. Now that it's active, we can now proceed to being able to work on the grades and such. Yeah. All right, 23, a lot more signals. Days without 13, 8, medium days, max days, grade distribution. But that may be we may be making the most money from this grade here. So I don't know. Before, why are we getting, let me just keep it, because we never know how that's going to work out. All right, so this is 2023 baseline. Bruv, would you please listen to me? Thank you. Thank you. And now let's go run 22, and then we're going to get ready to go run create our back test. All right, here's 22. Let's go see how we performed. Okay, that's not bad. So we're robust across 3 years. We're able to perform across 3. Honestly, I've kind of come to the conclusion that it's a coin flip. Right now, my own vibe coding is around dealing with price actions that happen rather than trying to predict it. Yes and no, but it's also all depending, like, are you controlling for slippage? Because that's one thing. It just came up on my YouTube feed. I've been doing option degree for the last 10 years. That's what's up, bro. I really do appreciate that. You stopping by. Now, I'm not going to hold you. Like, I used to think like that, but that's when he really, before I start to spend time with understanding slippage, being able to make sure that we are using the right bid and ask to get into positions. Like something as simple as that could make you lose money, right? Being able to make sure that you're using the right Greeks per strategy, right? Because it doesn't make sense to use a gamma strategy, a gamma Greeks, sometimes for mean reversion, right? So things like that, I've been a little bit more cautious about. So that's why I take my time to being able to develop a strategy, make sure that it's because I want to make practice a lot harder than the real game. So if I can make practice a lot harder than the real game, then we can actually move forward to do something. But I definitely do appreciate you being able to share this. And I really do think it's just a matter of consistency, right? And the way that you're doing it, being able to understand price action, I think that makes a little bit more sense, because I think everybody fell in love with being able to predict, because that's what we thought that, all right, let me just go get my AI to do that. But if you really just focus on the price, slippage, being able to make sure you're doing things right, I think my biggest problem is trying to grab tiny wins, but holding too long with massive. Yeah. One thing I always say, you don't go broke taking a profit. So even if it's 5%, 3%, 2%, take your profit and leave, like, because you want to redisperse your capital, right? What's the point of being able to hold on? And that's why I let my bot to do it, right? Because I don't want, a signal will come up and I'm like, oh, just hold. No, fuck that, right? You don't go broke taking a profit. If you see it, clear it, and let's go to the next thing. But no, I used to do the same thing, bro. All right, we are sliding. Yeah, this D-grade signal pause like that I really need to address when we come to being able to build our back test. All right, bet. So now we are ready to actually develop our back test. What I'm going to do is show Claude 3 different versions of the back test that he's going to use as a reference. So here's one. I also have, okay, here's two. All right, review the following back test before we proceed with developing it. Now we are going to take slippage, exits, option selection, TPs, position sizing, fees, commission, all that from Scalpy Baby, and the trails, right? Make sure you get the structure and understand the data and how to create it before we do it for what we have here. All right, bet. We are over to the next part of it. Now we're actually going to build a back test to see the validity of this strategy, right? One of the great things about being able to build 0DTE strategies, especially for algos, is I always want to dispel the notion. Again, one thing I want to make sure, this isn't financial advice. If you do seek financial advice, please make sure you talk to a certified financial planner, those that are licensed, in order to assist you. This is merely educational, fam. But nonetheless, one of the things that, okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Entry axe, peak, trail, okay. Okay. I love it. All right. Let's call it FB baby bt.py. Let's make sure we have the same level of doc strings. And using pre-index and vectorizing where possible. Make sure not to overlook the smallest of details, and be sure to bring over the signals type and strength we used during the first phase, and make sure we are using it for analysis only, not blocking / filter yet. All right, what was I going to say? Are you doing options, or is this like for futures? Is this for crypto? Like, when it comes to your strategies, like, are you primarily doing it for options? And if it's options, is it 0DTE options, option contracts that expire the same day? Are these weeklies? So what kind of strategies are you developing, Chief? And if y'all do have any other questions while I am doing this right now, let me know. So we just finished up being able to go through and making sure that we're generating signals. So we're seeing across 3 years, we're generating, I'd say north of 550 a year, right? Some a little bit more, some a little bit less, but we're north of 550 a year. It's not skewed any one way, so it's a little bit balanced, and we're over that 2 signals per day. Days without signals is less than 15. That's also what I'm looking at. And then maximum days with signals is 6, right? So I love it. The only thing that I'm kind of cautious about is this right here, but sometimes this could be a little, I don't know, like a cautionary tale, but something that can also like bring a lot of bread and butter to the strategy, depending on how you do it. So I think we're cooperative. Right now, I'm just waiting for Claude to finish up with being able to create our back test. Once we have our back test, I'm going to run it, and then let's see if the work has been for good. Now, if we do get to a point where the back test is doing good, I see a lot of great things coming from it, then we're going to, so y'all can see my process. We're going to go from the strategy. Now we're on back testing. I don't know if I'm going to bring in machine learning, but maybe. But right now we're back testing the strategy. Then if all of this goes well, then we're going to create the bot here live with y'all. And then tomorrow we're going to paper trade it. So if we're going to do the bot development, I have like 3 bots that I need to make. So I'll do all that with y'all as well. So you can see me make a couple of different bots, a couple of different strategies. So we're waiting for this one to be completed. If you do have questions, let me know as we're going through this. This is option trading, options where I'm using a bot to be able to run it. If y'all want to see an example of a bot, let me show you. And all of our bots run via terminal. That's a great thing about it. Just make this a bit bigger, yeah? All right. Give me 1 second. I just need to go grab the path for the bot, and then we can actually go run it. All right, who do I want to run? Let me run Squeeze, baby. So here's an example of a bot, right? So this is what I do every day, or when the market is open. Right, so it knows when the market is open. It says, hey, it's a weekend, right? The next trading day is tomorrow. Pre-market opens at 8 a.m. This bot is a squeeze detection bot, so it trades QQQ. QQQ is the top 100 tech companies within the NASDAQ. It trades 0DTE options and is looking for squeeze breakouts, right? So if you want an example of what a squeeze breakout is, let's go back to trading view while I'm waiting for Claude Code to finish up here. This is a squeeze right here, right? So this squeeze and it just broke out, right? So this bot is looking for these different type of trades, right? These squeezes just don't happen on a bullish breakout. Sometimes we have a squeeze on a bearish, right? I mean, a little bit of a squeeze happening here, and we have that breakout. So our bot will be looking for that. Okay, we just had squeezes all day, fam. Squeeze here, squeeze there, right? Squeeze. Okay, perfect example right here, right? You see how there's a squeeze right here, and a squeeze is basically letting us know that the Bollinger Bands are becoming a lot more contracted, right? They're becoming a lot more tighter, coming together. And when something comes together, all that pressure is building up. Guess what's going to happen, right? That pressure has to release somewhere. So that pressure is being released, and once it's released, we saw a bullish one. Now we're seeing a bearish one, but this bearish one. Now, you ever hold that adage, you drop a lot faster than you climb up? So this is basically what's happening here, right? So our bot, this squeeze baby bot, can trade any one of these squeezes. Another great thing about it, it lets me know when the market is open. It lets us know about earnings, any bullish sentiment, right? So this is just one example of, we have a few different bots that we run, right? And if I stop it, it stops. It's like, oh, I did nothing today. I know it's Sunday. So I'm still waiting for this particular back test to be done. And I bet as soon as it's done, it's going to compact. So that's going to be interesting. All right, I'm going to go grab some water while I'm waiting for this to be completed. Y'all give me two. Okay, here we go. Didn't I tell you? As soon as it's going to be done, it's going to compact. Didn't I tell you? All right, here's our back test. Now let's go run it. Let's go see if we did something that's worth finding. Bet. Now we're running our back test, bruv. Let's go, bruv. Failed breakout detection. That's what FBD stands for. Failed breakout detection. All right. We maybe got something, ladies and gentlemen. So all of our, before I even go to that, so I just want to like really prove a point. All of our strategies, unless I tell you otherwise, but all of our strategies start with $100, right? Because I want to be able to dispel the notion that you need thousands of dollars in order to trade options. Right now, minimum trade is 10, right? So it means it could go from 100 all the way down to $10 and try to make its way back up, right? We've seen that happen sometimes, but that's just there just for our protection. We already have our session, so the strategy trades from 9:33 to 11:28, right? So 3 minutes after market open, and we don't trade the entire day. I'm getting the option data from Theta Data, and I'm also getting it from Thinkorswim, Charles Schwab, or Tradier. I made a couple of videos on that. I'll drop the link for you, but primarily I'm getting the option data from Theta Data. Theta Data is phenomenal. I use them a lot. This is where I get the option data from, theta data. And then I also use Thinkorswim, but primarily I'm using theta data for my option data. And they're quite nice. They're a little bit better than Polygon, because most people used to use Polygon, which is now massive. They're a little bit better than them. I started at Polygon, but I had to move over to theta data because I was like, you know what, I'm getting more here. So primarily using theta data. If you have any other questions, let me know. Oh, where is I? And all the other parms we kind of already talked about already, so I'm not going to go through that, right? So if you want to look at it, here it is. All right, now let's go look at the strategy, how it performed, right? So the strategy was able to go from $100 to, oh, that's crazy. And y'all saw me build this with you live, right? I was in bullshit. I built this with you live, and you saw what I did. I bet. So let's keep going. Strategy went from $100 to $54,221.77. So what is a back test? A back test is being able to take your strategy, drop it off in a time machine, and seeing how well it performed. The school of thought is that if the strategy does well in the past, that there's a likelihood that it will do well in the future. It's not a guarantee, but it's a high likelihood, right? So what we did with this strategy, if I would have traded it back in 2024 and gave it $100 to start with at the top of the year, yeah. And this is not even the highest one. Like, this is being modest, because I've seen higher. So the strategy was able to start from $100 and then it went to $54,000, right? If I traded it in 2024, the max drawdown is super sexy, right? 6.9%. So at one point in time, the strategy lost $6, but it felt so bad that every time that it lost money, it's making $9 back. So for every $1 that it's losing, it's making $9. That's what this profit factor is telling you. Out of 240 trades, this strategy is winning 83%. So 8 out of every 10, the strategy is winning. Average win is $300. Average loss is $166. Average return is 9.6%. Average hold time is 1.2 minutes. Skipped option. Okay, so that's not bad. 0 fills, kind of did that already. And here's the distribution of the exits. And now let's look at the calls versus puts. The puts are performing better. That makes sense. This is for failed breakouts, right? And then the calls, but both are above 75%, and both are bringing in just above 25,000. So that's not bad. Now, didn't I tell you I didn't want to filter out this grade D? Is because grade D is bringing in the most money. Like, and that was what I was kind of cautious about, because like, all right, causation and correlation, right? You would think if somebody is grading a D, like they wouldn't make money. That's why you don't judge anything. Like, I want to let you tell me what kind of grade the signal is, but the grade D is bringing in the most money, and it's 80% a win rate, which is phenomenal. A, B, I expect that because those are higher tier signals, but that D is bringing in 24K. So that's why I want to be able to keep on that. Signal strength with volume spike, large body, so that's 100%. Fast rejection of 75%. Okay. VIX days greater than VIX, greater than 25. We're printing money. Time of day, each hour is above 75%, above 80%. Delta bucket. Okay, so probably need to impact that a little bit, but I'm seeing that this strategy is performing well, fam. What do y'all think? And this is just 1 year, and that's why I kind of took the long way to get here. So what I want to do is come here. No, I've already ran it, bro. All right, review using terminal commands, then let's discuss. And I still think I can improve the strategy a bit, right? Like, I'm not like too great on it. I still think I can improve it a bit. This is a large file. Let me grab it with headers. No shit, fam. And I still think we can improve it a bit, right? So that's what I'm going to do, is just take my time and being able to get this a little bit better, bruv. There's still a couple things I didn't bring out yet. It was like, you know what? That may be interesting. That may be cool to bring. That may be cool. This is not bad though, fam. Under 90 minutes, we have a strategy that is viable. Now it's just a matter of being able to tweak it. But I don't want to sell y'all a dream, right? It doesn't happen like this all the time. Sometimes I have strategy that fall flat on its face, even though I kind of introduced this new part, being able to make sure that I'm getting signals before I back test it. But sometimes just because you get signals doesn't mean those signals are valid or make sense, right? So sometimes even though I do it this way, the strategy falls flat on its face. So this doesn't happen all the time. I just want to let y'all know that. Backtest ran successfully. Now let me break it down. We already talked about that. What needs discussion is that the time exits 47.5% win rate. That's the weakest link. 61 trades are hitting the 3-minute time stops. Half of them are losing. Why aren't they exiting via trails? Oh, trails are here. Why aren't those exiting via trails? Let me run it on 23 first. Let me run it on 23 so we can see how well it runs on 23. So year 2023. So we're going to run our back test on 2023. I'm not going to touch anything yet. These are the parms for the back test. So if everybody's like, oh, what are the parms? Here's the parameters for the back test, right? So you can definitely steal this from me, so that's okay. And let's go ahead and run it. And let's see how well this performs. So this is 2023. The strategy was able to go from $100 to same $100, 55,169. So this strategy is quite robust. A little bit higher win rate. That's what's up. Profit factor is 14 bucks. I love that. For every $1 that is losing, is making 14 bucks back. Yo, this strategy is a bit robust. I'm not going to hold you. All right, review 2023 first. Yo, we may have fell forward, ladies and gentlemen. We've kind of slid on this. Let me run the same statistical breakdown. Like, I don't know. I kind of don't want to do anything else. Like, maybe we kind of already did the hard work, right? Like being able to flush it out, suss it out. Now we have a strategy that year over year is taking $100 and like it's making people's salary. That's crazy. But now we have to go to the next point, right? It has to survive paper testing. If it can survive paper testing and then go to live, that'll be phenomenal. Right now, we're in back testing right now. And then we're going to develop our bot here with y'all live, but we're in back testing right now. I kind of have 3 bots I need to make here too. So we're going to be running. Compare side by side. You know what's really going to be the key? Is if we can survive 2022. 2022, I don't expect this strategy to have a good performance in 2022. I'm not going to hold you. But if we can survive 2022 and it performs well and I don't touch anything, yo, this probably could slide. All right. What the story telling us, the 3-minute time may be too tight for the low regime volatility, could test 4 to 5 minutes. Grade D filtering is an obvious layer. If we script grade D, we cut 60% of the trades, but might dramatically improve win rate. No, the strategy works across multiple regimes. Yes, that's the biggest thing right here, being able to make sure we can survive 22. All right, so let's do that. Let me see if I can survive 2022. Again, I don't expect the strategy to perform that well in 2022 at all. Like 2022 was a fucking hard bear year, bro. Even though we're testing failed breakouts, right? So in essence, in theory, it's supposed to work, but I don't expect it to. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, bro. I told y'all. $100 to negative. Up. I told y'all. 2022 is freaking hard, bro. Super bear year. I mean, you had VIX damn near go to 80, bro. So we started off strong and then it just fell flat on its face. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Let me go test COVID. This is, yes, fine. I can go test COVID. Let me go see how the strategy would have performed during COVID. I'm testing 2020. I want to see how the strategy would have performed during COVID. And mind you, I did not make any tweaks to the parameters yet. So it went from 100, that's 1700. So 100 to 1700 during COVID. 83%, 143 trades. I mean, I kind of want to save 2025, so I don't want to touch anything. All right, what I want to do is, let me just go ahead and bucket those. All right, we have a strategy right now that is robust across years, right? Across bears and bulls years. Do I want to take the time to be able to perfect it, or should we get to a point where it's like, yo, you know what? Let's ship it and paper trade it. I'm thinking the latter. Let's just go ahead and ship it and paper trade it. Like, I don't want to spend too much time tweaking this, tweaking that, tweaking this, because I want to see how well this strategy performs in live. All right, that's what I want to do. All right, we're going to our bot development now. What I need is you read, then let's update, let's create one for the strat we are working on now. Yeah, nah, big facts. So what I want to do is I'm getting my second session here ready, and then we're going to go ahead and create a bot. We are going to create, I'm going to use 4.5 because y'all see 4.6 is just taking its damn time. So I'm going to use 4.5. What I'm going to say is, I just need to go grab a prompt real quick. Hold on. All right, I got the prompt. For the duration of this sprint, keep all of your responses under 228 total tokens for each output response unless we tell you otherwise. Now, we need to develop a new 0DTE Algo bot. Before review, who do I like? You know how I really spent time with? I've been spending time with all of them, but I'm gonna have you check out Gabby, and then go look at, is it Second Chance? Yeah, go review Second Chance. Let me give you a spy. I think Printer Baby would be good for you to review too. Alright, review the current bots we have before we get into the work for the new one. Alright, Goopiter. What I'm going to do is I need the back test. So where's the, okay, here it is. Let me grab the back test and then log. Let me copy you. Coming here. FB. Drop you here. Beautiful. All right, now we're going to create our bot, ladies and gentlemen. We are creating our bot. Okay. Config, signal detection, option, order, position. Beautiful. All right. Before, read. Okay, now you're really going to see how this is done because I haven't done this with y'all in a bit. Data. You need to see the data providers. Also read the change log. I'm not going to hold you. Read the following concerning the data providers before we let you review the back test for this bot. And I think I'm going to bring in, oh, you know what? Another thing that I have that I kind of even didn't like it exploit yet is like these skills. How have y'all been using like the skills that you can make it a little bit more efficient to start coding, excuse me, a little bit better with Claude Code? Okay, option selection, Tradier. Okay, excluded, 15-minute stale, circuit breaker, price using axe, no bit. Okay. Parallel scanning, freshness check, signal for only bar data. All right, so it gets what I'm doing here. You get what I'm doing. All right, now you can review our bot. You can review the strategy now. All right, perfect. Now review. Oh, what was I saying? As far as the skills, right? Like, I found this website. I think Shigami put me up on game with this one. What was it? Gemini. No, anti-gravity. Anti-gravity skill hub. And I still need to make another video about it, but it's this right here. And if you want, I'll go ahead and drop it in the chat for you so you can have it. I mean, it works, but like, have I seen a benefit using it? I don't know. I've only been using it for a couple of days. But if y'all want it, let me go ahead and drop it in the chat so you can use it for yourself. And it's supposed to make it a little bit more effective when it comes to being able, like, for your sessions. Like, I already downloaded it in the repo. All right, FB Baby is a structural reversal failed strategy. Auction strategy, not mean reversion. Core thesis: when the price breaches a pivot but fails to sustain, trap momentum traders force reversals. The market microstructure, Dalton and Stedmeiler. ATR dynamic thresholds normalizes SPY across 330 to 600 levels. The ATR follows the golden rule: enter as axe, exit at bid, no multipliers, consistent across years. All right, beautiful. Reclaim 12-minute. All right. So, all right. So, we are going to build this the same way, modular, and making sure that there are proper error messages for both human and machines and observability, right? We are going to do this one step at a time, making sure that the file we created passes without the use of mocks, cache functions, or methods, placeholders, or hard-coded fallbacks before we proceed to the next file. Got it? Now lay out the plan and files to create before we proceed. Lay out the plan for me, bruv. Thank you. See, another skill just popped in. Brainstorming. Now invoke the brainstorming skill to properly explore and design the layout before implementing. Explore the project. Okay. Propose 2 to 3 no. I already gave you the approaches, bruv. I already gave you what you were doing. Like, don't overcomplicate it. Yeah, no, cursor. It definitely works with cursor. But again, it's just a matter of being able to get like usage from it. Let me know if it works for you, because I think it's something that definitely makes sense. But it's just a matter of being able to. The backtest uses FB and FB naming. All right, bro. Don't overcomplicate it. Okay, the naming convention. You're really going to take it there, huh? Config, signal detector, option selection, order execution, position, market data, account tracker, structure logger, utility, and then the bot. You're missing the log analyzer, and then, but we can create that. We already have the structure logger. Okay, beautiful. The naming convention, FB baby. Yeah, I'm fine with FB, bro. We don't gotta overcomplicate it. We really don't have to overcomplicate it at all. Oh, what was I? Yeah, cursor is phenomenal because I first started with cursor, but then I found myself because I never thought, okay, damn, bro. Data, yeah, yes, you're gonna match the existing, the same one that I gave you before. Don't overthink it. You mentioned proper error messages for both bots and human. Your bots are using the structure logger. Match, yes. Now you want to ask clarifying questions. Okay, bro. All right, bro. I get it, bro. But second chance H Take 2 has yes. Nope. Enhanced cooldown plus. Okay. Anti-chasing suite. Add the entry. Consecutive detection. Yep. We're doing that. I haven't tried Cloud Code because I'm on Windows. I don't want to spin up a VM to use it. I don't think you have to. No, on Windows you can use it in terminal because this is cursor, right? This is cursor. So I use cursor and I use Cloud Code in a terminal. So what you can do is just pop up a terminal and then open Cloud Code here. You don't need a virtual machine in order to run it. You can run it in terminal in cursor. So you don't need a VM to be able to do that. I thought so too, but I'm using Mac, so it's a little different, but it's almost the same. And if you haven't, I would definitely recommend just being able to give it out. Now have context. Let me summarize before moving on. I don't even know what I said. Okay, yes. Direct port. What the fuck? The unique challenges for FBB is that it's 5-state machine scanning, breach, rejection, and signal. This doesn't exist in your other bots, which uses a simpler signal detection. The state machine lives here, matching the backtest structure. Yeah. Match the backtest, easier the correction, follows Yangi state machine in the detailed node, need to expose. All right. Let's go with approach 1. Please don't do no like BS where FB the test. Okay. You forgot the log analyzer, which I'm going to show you, but I'll bring that in. You forgot the log analyzer, bro. Field tracking, balance, structure logger. Okay. Let me show you a few because you forgot this. Because this makes my life a lot easier, bro. So 1. I'm gonna show you another example. This one 2, and then matter of fact, just to really make sure you get it, I'm gonna show you 3 examples. Yeah, bro. Here are 3 examples of the log analyzer we need for FB baby. Also, we want to make sure that we have full logging both in terminal so we can see what happens and in the logs saved as well. talking about everything the bot is doing, from scanning to rejection, etc. If it does it, we want it logged, displayed, and saved. Got it? Before we proceed. That'll be Guapiter. And it's about to compact. So I think this is going to be like a 2-session game where we're probably going to finish this. And I mean, 2 sessions is like Claude. I'm not like leaving or anything, but okay, bet. I love it. I love it. Now we got everything. Session. Okay. We got everything, fam. All right. This looks right. Let's get this show on the road. Let's get this show on the road, bruv. So how are y'all liking it so far? Oh shit. I knew you was gonna do that. I knew you were gonna do that. Listen, we already kinda approved the plan. No need to do it again. Start coding. We already approved the plan. There's no need to do it again. Skipping formalities and let me build. I appreciate you. Let me start with the config. And this is where shit can get haywire. That's why I kind of want to follow and make sure it's not skipping anything, and like it test everything properly before moving on to the next thing, right? And one thing that I probably should do is, let me just copy this. Let me just go ahead and copy that, bro, because I don't trust it all the way when it compacts. I feel like it skips some shit. So like, I just want to have a reference for myself on what we're doing. So now that I have that reference, we can slide to the left. And if y'all haven't already, I need you to go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe, right? If you are liking this content and if you're getting value out of this, maybe somebody else will too. All right, Guapiter. Wait. Ah, you jerk. You moved everything. Damn it, bro. You're being extra. You are really being extra. Now I gotta move everything here. So I can delete you. I can put everything there. I want everything in one place. All right, so let's look at the config file. So this is our first file that Claude Code just kicked out. Let's go ahead and scan it and see if there's anything that we need to adjust or fix. Everything's looking Guapiter right now. Okay, overshoot K. All right, beautiful. Reclaim. We have the spike. We have the option selection, premium filter. Oh, option retry enable. You're taking everything. I mean, I appreciate that. All right, cool down. Okay, you just dropped the utilis. All right, give me a second. I'm going to look at that. I just want to keep reading this real quick. Logging in observability. Bars fetch for. Why do you need 60 minutes? This is something. What? Minimum bars for signal 20. So that means this bot shouldn't be start trading. Wait. Okay, so I just noticed one thing. That we need to fix. Let's go look at the utilities. All right. It just makes it a little bit easier to be able to manage. And I used to have it where like all this used to be in one bot file. So my bot files used to be like 3,000 lines long. I was like, bro, that is super hard to be able to manage. So that's why I kind of had to like break it down and make it a little bit more modular, so I can, or if something breaks in the config file, I can automatically just go there, fix it without like having to search through the entire bot file. Before it goes to the next one, I'm going to have it stop and explain the, because I don't trust that whole 60-minute look back thing, bro. I really don't trust the 60-minute look back yet, because I think it's probably missing something. All right, so while that's doing that, I'm going to go grab some water.
It's for somebody special. Yeah. Can't wait it out tonight. Baby, you're special. Can't wait it out tonight. Yeah. Can't believe it's so. Yeah. 20 nights been so. Baba don't lose composure. Yeah, girl, my champion lover. Would you wait for me, girl? Yeah, cause now you did cross my mind. Would you wait for me, girl? I know, ain't no distance, ain't no time to get me back to you. Yeah, 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 to get me back to you. Yeah, yeah, to get me back to you. Cannot deny it's a cos. And if God is my witness, now you be my weakness. My no be boss. See Oluwa don't bless me. Not true, no be ghost pride. If they say I didn't listen, babe, you're the one that I'm missing, girl. And my darling, would you wait for me, girl?
All right, so I caught it white, ran it, just it compacted already. Yes, I bet it already compacted. I think there's one thing. The test log is generating no signals. It's resetting on every bar. Let me check the detection logic. Let me check the reset method and initialization. That would be groovy. I appreciate the vibes. Classic, I found the bug, the reset. Do not reset the current day. It's managed by the process bar. This is what I didn't do before. Like, I didn't stop, and I'm going to QA what we did better. No generate. Let me add debugging output to understand what's going on. I really think it's the fucking hold on. Let me wait. Let me see what you're about to do. I see the issue. The test data breach has the high of 520, which equals the pivot high. We need to overshoot and update the test to have a proper breach above the pivot. Why isn't it pulling in the market data? I mean, I understand the market is closed right now, but this whole hard-coded business right here, I'm not too fond of, yeah. Wait. Before we proceed, let's go over and QA the work we have done via terminal commands and make sure ready to go before we continue. So I just want to make sure we're cooperator and there's nothing. Okay, you're in the right one. Yep, QA doesn't just mean running the test and files. Let's make sure we didn't overlook anything. Following SRP, dry, solid, OP best practices for what we have done. Use your skills. Again, I do have the skills. I just haven't sandbox skills. Appropriate one. Then let's proceed. Yeah, because I don't want to get to a point where it's like, oh, you know what? We forgot to do this or we forgot to do that. Like, let's go ahead and make sure. That's fun. Oh, this is going to be fun. Hold on. Okay, that was weird. I appreciate y'all. Let's make sure we didn't overlook anything. And I do have a question about the whole trying to get 60 bars of data when, yeah, I just want to make sure we're not overlooking anything, bro. I either take my time in making sure that it's Gucci now. Okay. 4 issues. Now let me fix. Duplicate logic. We have what else? Separate violation, process bar does too much. Drive violation, not using the existing. Okay. Order confusion. All right. Please fix these things and making sure that we're Gucci. So that's why I take my time to be able to make sure. All right, let's make sure we're not overlooking anything, because I gave you the answers to the test. You still have to pass the test. Let me fix it dry. All right, bet. And for those that are coming in a little bit late, right? We already created a strategy, right? I've already back tested it. Exit to do it. Exit to do it needfully. I tried. That's why, like, I'm taking my time to be able to make sure that it's really taking its time and it's not just giving me BS code, because sometimes it can just like rush and give you the code and like forget a couple of things. Right, so that's why I want to make sure it's good. I still have the questions about the whole. Let me also verify all the imports work, no syntax issues. About the bars. Okay. Now, before we proceed, I have a question regarding the periods / bars / data needed. Can you explain that before we proceed? How many candles / minutes are needed for the first signal to generate before we proceed? I appreciate that, Chief. I will definitely just go ahead and shoot the A. You know what? Get me right. Don't assume. Don't assume at all, bruv. All right, warm up. Collecting data, no signal possible. Minimum bars reached. Now can detect breaches and fire signals. Okay. Pivot. Signal flow. So breach bar at 21. Signal can fire from 21 to 32. Session 20 minutes. So first signals possible is 9:53. If breach happens immediately, bot can prefetch 60 minutes of historical data at startup for instant readiness. Why? Who said to use? And can you confirm that it is 20 minutes of data needed? In that case, we may just adjust the start time to reflect that, so bot isn't just waiting idle. So session 20 minutes. That's kind of tough. Yeah, bruv. You know what they say about assumptions. Yeah, boy. They make an ass out of you and make an ass out of me. I know, Chief. Tell me about it. So that's why I'm really taking my time to be able to make sure I have these questions answered on the forefront. So like when we actually run the bot, it's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And AI can definitely assume a shitload of things. Why 60 minutes? You're right. Let me clarify. I added a 60-minute look back to the config as a conservative estimate. It's not from the backtest. The backtest has the full year of data, so the warm-up is an issue here. The real question is two approaches. Pre-fetch, keep current. Yes, fetch 20 minutes of bars at startup, but you're not going to get it. Bark has only been open for 3 minutes, so you're going to get errors. Bot is ready instantly, more signals available. Adjust, simpler, but misses 17 minutes of session. But question, you just mentioned that bot needs 20 minutes of data. Do we have it where it can scale it up, right, based on the signals fired, and can base the position sizing on the strength and VIX as well, so we can have bot starting at 9:33 a.m. and using the available data until it has the full 20 minutes. Yeah, advise before we proceed? I'm glad I caught this because I would have been so pissed. I'm like, yo, what's going on? I know I had you start at 9. No, I know I had you start at 9:33. Why aren't you starting trading at 9:53? Other bots aren't handling. I would rather you answer the question first before we do that. Maybe the first. No, the thing about pre-market data is that the pre-market data is going to have overnight news. It's going to have a lot of noise and volume in there. So I would rather, and I've done this before, and I don't know why this is a problem. So the thing about pre-market data is like there's just going to be too much noise in that, and I don't know if the bot can filter it. So I would rather it being able to start trading at 9:33. It uses the available data that it has, and then once it gets to the 9:53, right, that 20 minutes of data, whenever a signal comes in, you can, okay, what is the strength of that signal? What is VIX at the time? And you can be able to base position sizing based off that rather than waiting for the full 20 minutes. Okay, so let's see what it says here. Prefetch the history. No, fucker. No. We are not going to be using historical or pre-market data here. Listen or read carefully. So bot starts at 9:33 a.m., right? But you mentioned that the data needed is 20 minutes. So what we are saying is that we allow bot to trade and use the available data from the market real time, and if a signal fires within the first 20 minutes, right, before the minimum data, can trade it, but the position sizing will be based on the signal strength and VIX. Does that make sense? But sometimes you got to come through this computer, because I'm not okay with being able to fetch historic data. This historic data is available. I'm not okay with that, being able to do that, because you're looking at a completely different day. You're looking at too much noise. Then you got to be able to parse it. Then you're having fake signals come in. So that's why I would rather it. Now I understand the approach. Bot starts 0. There's 3. Oh my goodness, I can cuss you out. There's 3 minutes of data available, not 0. The market's been open for 3 minutes, so there's 3 minutes of data available. 1 bar, 3 bar, 7. Signal fires can't trade, but scales position down. Full data, full position sizing. Okay. Yes, this is what we are saying, but make sure you're not confused. At 9:33 a.m., there is 3 minutes of completed real-time market data. So bot can use that as we are building towards full signal strength. Got it? Oh my goodness, sometimes you can just reach in the computer and be like, bro, I know what I'm saying. Stop making me look stupid. Because this is so wrong. There's not 0 bars of data available. There's 3, bro. I was confused. Okay, market opens, formed, completes, bot entry window starts. Okay, yeah, 4, 5 ATR is now valid. You can use pivot from here. Now full signal strength. At 9:33, the bot starts scanning. That's already 3 completed bars of real-time data. The bot can use the available data and build towards the full 20 signal bar strength. Early signals say at 9:40 with 10 bars, lower grade, smaller position sizing. Later signals at 9:55 with 25 bars, higher grade, full position sizing. The signal strength scores naturally handles this with less data. Rolling averages are less reliable. Few factors. Okay. So the fix, lower or remove. I can cuss you out. All right. So this is what we want, what you just explained, right? What needs to be done in order for this to happen before we proceed. And before, this is something that would have slipped through the cracks, and I would have had to handle this after the fact. All right. Config, change to 7, minimum for pivot. Hard block stays, but triggers earlier. This code stays the same, but now blocks until 7. All right. Why is there? All right, proceed. Proceed. Let me just make sure. So minimum bars for signal is going from 20 to 7, but there's still a 4-minute deficit. So within those 4 minutes, the bot is doing what? So that's another thing. It's like, why isn't it the minimum 3 and then we're building it up from there? Minimum for pivot, 3 left plus pivot, detection, early signal. Bruv, I'm just gonna have this bot start at 9:37. Yeah, I'm gonna have it start at 9:37 instead of this 9:33. Because for that 4 minutes, I'm not losing sleep for that 4 minutes. So I'll just have it start at 37. Our warm up versus hard block. Instead of blocking all trades for 20 minutes, the bot now allows signals after 7 bars minimum for pivot detection. The earlier natural signals have lower grades, less data, fewer confirming factors. The position sizing scale with grade plus VIX automatically. No special logic is needed. Okay. All right, let's proceed. First, let me check the existing one. There's no existing one, bro. Oh, you're gonna check somebody else's file. That'll be great. That would be great. I feel like for the last 15 minutes or so, I've been arguing with Claude. Now we're actually getting the work done. Like in another 15 minutes or so, we're going to be done with this. So y'all have seen the entire process, bro, where we went from being able to use the, being able to create the strategy, backtest the strategy. I didn't use machine learning or walk forward validation because not all of them need it. So I don't need to overcomplicate it, excuse me. Now we're developing the bot, right? So in about another 15-20 minutes or so, we're going to be done doing this. But again, throughout this process, I may just stop. Let's check to make sure that we're Gucci. We didn't overlook anything, just like I did before, because I want to make sure we get this right and we're not overlooking anything that, like, you know what, I could have done this before, or I could have added that later. So I'd rather get this right now, bro. All right, structured logging. Matter of fact, remember, I found an issue, so let me go look at this structured logging real quick. Bot started, initialization, heartbeat, state scanning, state research, rejection, okay. Pivot detection, signal flow, rejection reasons, why signals didn't fire, option selection, order. Okay, I found an issue. It's not telling me why the strikes were rejected. So that's one thing. position management, anti-chasing, data connectivity, errors. All right, so there's one thing that I need to fix here is the strike rejection reason. We have the signal rejection reason. Where's the position management when you're in position? Okay, in position. It doesn't have the Greeks. So all the Greeks, all the IV, VIX. Okay, so there's a couple things I need to update. So a couple things. First, we need to be able to track why the strikes are rejected, and when in position, bot is to display all of the Greeks, VIX, current price of SPY, and volume and IV for later analysis. What else are you missing? Okay. Order submitted, field, cancel, rejection, rejection reason. Let's go to when you're scanning. Okay. And when bot is scanning, we want to be able to see the current price of SPY after every current price of SPY, volume, VIX, volume VIX as well. Now let's update it. Wait, let me make sure I didn't miss anything. So I have the state management, the bot started, all right, bet, the pivot detection, rejection reasons, why signals didn't fire, option chain fetch, selection, no option found. Okay, orders, submitted, field, canceled. Okay, rejection. Okay, and then position management. You forgot the trails. Oh, yeah, I have the trails right there. Okay, end of day, position close, anti-chasing. Where's the reconciliation? All right, let's go ahead and update that. I appreciate that. Again, don't just take his word for it, because just like Chief said, guess what assuming does? Okay, strike rejection reason. Okay, scan tick. Okay, position. Now let me add the convenience methods for scanning and the position management. Okay. That's what I'm screaming. So I may just keep this to one bot development, because like y'all seen us go through the entire process, right, from start to finish. So I may just keep this into like one bot development. I'm going to create another video on just developing bots. All right, so I have the strike, the reason, the contract, actual value, min value. Okay, spread. Oh, slippage. Okay. It's not slippage, being able to track slippage in and out of position. So that's the last thing I was like, bro, I know I forgot something. Is slippage. Matter of fact, let me just do the reconciliation right now, because I don't think he did that. Before, lastly, let's make sure slippage is logged as well, if not already, and make sure that is in the logging as well before we continue. Bet. I mean, I appreciate y'all for sticking around, being able to see the entire process. And if you do have any specific questions for me, you can let me know. A little bit about me. I've been doing this since about April of last year. So it's coming up on a year when I first started my coding journey. And with regards to being able to algo trade, I've only been algo trading like really since about October of this year. And that's when I've started, you know what, let me just stream my sessions with y'all so you can see my process from start to finish. So I still consider myself extremely new in this game. And I just want y'all to know that extremely approachable, right, with regards to any questions that you may have. And if I don't know something, then it's okay to say I don't know, but we're going to look it up and find the answer. But nonetheless, I'm glad that y'all are here to be able to see my process and to be able to see what we do when it comes to algo trading, because everybody wants to get into it. And I think it's a great way to be able to trade options. All right, beautiful. But it's just a matter of making sure that there's no guarantees in this thing, right? So I just don't want to pitch that. Of the fact that I was like, oh, it's a guaranteed win. No, I mean, still wins and losses out here, but it's just a matter of like processes and like how much delta you can add and do for it. All right, bet. Logger now has 72 events. Ready to proceed. Okay, with those 72 events, are we covering everything? Right? Let me go look. So we're covering when the bot started. We're covering the state management. All right, we're covering the pivot, the signal flow, the rejection reasons, why signals didn't fire, option selection, strike rejection reasons, scan status, orders, or fill improvement. Okay, slippage, P&L reconciliation, position management. All right, connectivity. All right, Gucci. All right, proceed. All right, proceed. And with the tests that are here, make sure that we are using real API calls, right? No mocks or placeholders. All real functionalities here, bro. This is another part that can sometimes get a little bit confusing. Real API. Okay, get me right. Oh, if you need to see that, bruv, hold on. Just to make sure there's no freaking confusions at all. Like, at all. All right, read. Then let's proceed. So you have no confusions, bruv. You understand what we're doing and why we're doing it. Now I understand the damn, and it's about to compact. Damn, bruv. I gave it too much to do all that one time. It's about to compact on us. But that's okay. So this is going to take 3 sessions to be able to do this. That's crazy. Usually it takes me 1 session to get through like creating a bot, but that's okay. And we only did 1, 2, 3, 4 files, but I had to redo the structured logger like 5 times. I had to redo the signal detector, and then we had to update the configs. So I mean, I get it. Kind of has some QA in this too, so it's just not all development. Because I wanted to make sure we're doing proper things. Yeah. As soon as it's right, this file is going to compact. Didn't I tell you? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go test it. I gotta go grab the conda environment real quick. Give me a second. Here it is. Paste view. And then what I can do is just copy, clear, Python. Ooh. This is what I'm going to do. I really hate that comes with it, but whatever. I want to use cursor real quick to be able to figure out this bit. Review and let's fix. All right, Cooperator, thank you. Ah, free. That's what I'm screaming. Okay, hold on. We have some issues. Damn it. All right, hold on. Are you back yet? Yes, you are. I gotta give it some. Let me give you some more information. Let me give you some more information because I may have left this bit out. This will definitely help you. Review, then let's fix. Thank you. I kind of did the work already for you. I see two issues: the API inventory, the real-time takes the max age seconds, not max age, and Delta Signal has a disconnect method not closed. Let me read and fix. Thank you. Thank you very much. I knew that was going to be beneficial for me to do that one time. Because what I did is like I broke down every single method that is in the data provider, so there's no excuse, right? And I use Codex to do this. I got to make a video. I think I already had a video on the difference between Codex and Claude Code. But Codex is OpenAI's version of Claude Code, and I only use it for like baby admin tasks. Nothing super serious that I use Codex for. But it still gets the job done. All right, bet. Okay, so it's trying to test today's date. So first, copy. First, a few things. So today is the weekend, Sunday, 02/22, right? We need to have this test intelligent enough to know that market is open, then try the next tradable open market day, i.e. Monday, 02/23, for the data needed. Let's also find the issues and fix the errors here as well. Cooperator, crystallizing, thank you, get me right. Get me right, bruv. Okay, I see two issues. The weekend expiration today is Sunday 22. We need to use Monday for the option selection. The freshness check bug. Time handling is mixed native with UTC, causing the 5-hour discrepancy. Let me read the current file and fix both. The freshness check, import, need detect market is closed and use the next trading day. Look at that. It's not like, that's the thing with artificial intelligence. Like, we cannot forget that what word is in front of intelligence? Artificial, fam. But sometimes the shit is made up, but it's kind of smart. I don't know. I don't know why they let us sell us that pipe dream. I feel like they could have used another A instead of all right, I'm just going off on a tangent now. My fault. Let's get back to our work. Please fix this test so that when we run it, it actually works for us, bruv. I told you not to mock. Holy shit. Oh my goodness, I can cuss you out. Oh my goodness, bro. It's still having a problem. Still having an issue with finding it. And let's make sure there are no other mocks in this test, bruv. I'm not even gonna say that because sometimes it can get colloquial back and I don't like that. Yes, they're definitely wobbling right now. They're definitely wobbling, fam. The issue is that this weekend, all the options is still 31 hours since Friday market close. Orchestrator correctly rejects it. Let me verify that there's no mocks and improve the weekend handling. All right. No. Okay. Don't worry about it. We looked too much into this. Now let's proceed to the next item. All right, so that was me. I made a big deal out of it, but I told you to be able to fix it. But that's something I can fix. It's a Sunday that we're doing this. I get it. Now let me create the option selection. This handles finding the optimal option contracts based on the signal detection, applying delta, gamma, and premium filters, and logging strike rejection reasons. Beautiful. I think we were able to make the screws a little bit tighter, Chief. I think we're better now. I think we are better now. I appreciate y'all's patience while I was arguing with Claude. I have to say to myself that I'm winning these arguments. I don't know if it believes that we're in an argument or that there's a little contention here, but I just have to keep telling myself, you know what? It is an argument and I'm winning. It's a little argument. We're going back and forth, but I'm winning. That ATR video went crazy. That's crazy that you just stuck on that number for a while, bro. There we go. Opa. Now let me run the self-test. Okay. Are you doing... Okay, look at that. Let me check the logger strike rejection signature and fix the mismatch. Logger doesn't have the detail parameter. Let me wait. Should we fix the logger to have the detail parameter if it will provide valuable data? If so, fix it such that it has this new pawn. All right, we'll add it. Go ahead and fix it, bruv. Okay, we just added the detail. Yeah, that's the thing I thought that we already added, but Gucci. Okay, we got the reason. No data. I love it. Yeah, no, but I feel like you got to be able to get that out. Like, you can't just let it bottle it up, because then it's festering inside of you. Then you got a problem, a little social, like emotional problems that we got to deal with now. I rather, whenever I'm feeling mad at ChatGPT or Claude Code, oh my, all caps, bro, tighten up. Like, I will all caps it, like, bro, tighten up. Come on now, right? I will all caps it to let it know I'm pissed off. Get right. Nah, I get ugly sometimes, but when I'm mad at it, then I feel bad. No, you gotta let it out, because it's doing stupid shit, bro. You're supposed to be smarter than me, supposedly, but then I'm catching things that you're not, bro. Come on. All right, let's proceed. Then once it's done here, I'm going to have it just QA. Oh, big facts. I will all caps it. Sometimes I will curse, sometimes, but I'm not on the stream because, like, I got to keep it family friendly. But sometimes I will cuss it out. Like, you dumb bitch, what the fuck are you doing? And that'll be the message right there. Then I'll, okay, act like I clicked on it. I'll just exit this session, go get another session. Bro, it can get hectic sometimes. That's what I'm saying, bro. Don't bottle it up. It's not going to, it is going to remember. But that's the thing. Like, I kind of do both things too. When it does something great, I give it a good job. I give it a little pat on the back, right? You did a great job, because Nelnet still could be a thing, right? In case you're listening right now and you're like logging this, I'm not saying, oh hell, nah, fuck that, right? But I get it. But okay. I get it, bruv. This is the 4th session that we're about to go into. I'm not even finished with this file, this bot. That's crazy. Let me see how much usage I've used for this. Bro, this is crazy. This is mad. All right, here we go. Oh, look at that. You got something wrong. Let me check what the logger available methods are. I need to add the log entry to the logger. Let me check the log exits and add the matching. Thank you. Why doesn't it tell me the, wait, what am I losing here? It's not telling me the gamma delta IV VIX at exit. All right, proceed. Y'all let me know if this music is a little bit too loud. I just had to just tweak it a little bit. I'm like, oh, you son of a bitch. We're still doing great work, fam. We are in the precipice of being able to finish up our work that we're doing here. We went from being able to create the strategy. Now we are actually creating the bot for the strategy, right? In just a few moments, bruv, we will be el completo with this, and we'll be able to continue our work, right? I thought that I was going to create multiple bots with y'all, but after seeing, because I'm not going to hold you, some COD does not have, it's not good every day, right? So it has its days. That's why I kind of have another theory about that, right? There's this, I know, it's not a joke. It's kind of offensive. I'm not going to say it, but when I heard it, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. It does a lot of auto compact. Yes, it does. It never used to auto compact this much, but it's all depending on the model that you use too, right? Right now, I'm using one of his top tier models. It's this Office model, 4.5. I'm not using 4.6. If I was using 4.6, bro, it would have been compacted like 10 times already. But I'm using 4.5. So whenever you're using these high-end models, right, it's using a lot more tokens. Because it's using a lot more tokens, it's meaning it's going to compact a lot faster. But supposedly it's smarter, right? There's sometimes that I can see a difference between the Opus and the Sonnet model, but other times I'm like, bro, it's the same shit. But sometimes I can see the difference, but other times I'm like, okay, we're having one of those days. We're having one of those days. What was I saying? Yeah, no, Claude could definitely have its days. Yes, it is. But sometimes it's worth it. But I have a subscription with Claude Code, so it's like in the subscription I don't pay extra. I kind of do, but you don't. It's weird. So when you have the subscription, you can use the Opus, the Sonnet, Haiku even, but I wouldn't recommend using Haiku, even for like some simple shit. But don't waste your time. It's either Sonnet or Opus for me. So when I use like a Sonnet or Opus 4.5, it's not going to be as expensive or as costly as using. Oh yeah. Yeah, but sometimes when I'm building new things, I just want to keep it to Sonnet. And then when I'm like going over or being able to brainstorm, I'll go to building new things, Opus. And then when I'm brainstorming, I go to Sonnet. But majority of the time I'm using Opus anyway. But I say this to say is that, so this is all based off usage. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about. So right now, whatever I have a Claude Code session, right, I need to keep track of the usage. So whenever I use Opus, this right here runs out real quick because they give you supposedly like you can use up to like 25-50 sessions a day. But again, they cap you on the weekly limits, which I think is bullshit, right? They never used to have this weekly limits, and you also have a limit with Sonnet. So as you can see, like I barely use Sonnet. A majority of the time I'm using Opus, right? So that's why I'm at 58%. And I have to wait all the way until Thursday until it restarts. And then you have this session bullshit that you have to worry about as well. These limits. So that's why you kind of almost have to figure out, okay, what am I doing? Do I need something as attentive as Opus, or can I just use Sonnet? So that's just the only caveat. Like you're not paying extra for it, quote unquote. It's already in this subscription, but it's just a matter of usage, right? That can be a bit of a problem. All right, we're almost done. Yeah, but sometimes it's worth it to be able to spend a couple extra for the Opus, because as you say, definitely can pull you out of a hole. But sometimes it can put you back in the hole too. Like if you aren't firm with it, like, bro, what? And all the fuck are we doing right now? That's when you have to all caps it, get out of this session, just go start another one. I definitely had to do that a couple times. All right, proceed. All right, we have 2 more files to do, right? Or 3 more. And after these files, we will have our bot. So, like, that's what's up. One thing I want to go look at real quick is not the option selection. Just so I want to make sure. I got to spell Python right. There we go. All right, we're Gucci. That's what's up, bro. That's what that's. Yeah, no, but this is just taking a little bit longer than I anticipated. I think just the systems are running a little bit slower today too. I don't know. I think on the weekends because everybody's home, but that doesn't make sense. Like you would think on the weekdays it would be a little bit slower, but I feel like on the weekdays, like I'm flying with Claude Code, and on the weekends it get a little bit slower. But you would think the inverse, because corporations, I know developers, that's all they use is Claude Code, right, to be able to do their work. Talking about senior level developers too. So everybody, like, throws their shroud, oh, vibe coding this, vibe coding that. I mean, it is the wave. You just got to know what it's doing, what's going on. Like right now, I've been vibe coding this entire time with y'all and being able to keep a conversation. But one of the things that I've noticed is that, all right, you're like, sometimes you trip and I need to be able to pick you back up. But all right. All of us degens vibe coding on the weekend. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what's bringing everything down. Everybody's like, all right, man, I need to get my hours in. I need to get my hours in. That's what's probably bringing it down. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like on the weekdays, it's not slow like this. Like it's moving a lot faster, and I'm able to complete a lot more work quicker. Because I usually run like 3-4 sessions when I'm not streaming, and I'm cool, right? But like now, I'm seeing that it's running just a little bit slower on the weekends. But whatever, the work is still getting done. Order execution. Okay. I love it. This is a comprehensive reference, 1,634 files. Let me create an FB baby version adapted from the failed breakout strategy with the unique state machine. That will be beautiful, bro. All right, so 2 more files, then we're calling it a wrap for the day, ladies and gentlemen. We've already been almost 3 hours in, and it's been quite a fun session. I'm not going to hold you. Like we went from being able to create our strategy, right? So you can see the entire process. We created our strategy, and I pulled it from TradingView. So if you want to look at the same strategy that I use from TradingView, let me see if I can copy this real quick. Here, it's the failed breakout one, right? The failed breakout strategy that we picked from it. And how did I get it? Okay, let me see if I can copy. Nope. Let me just copy this again and just drop it in the chat. And this is where we got the strategy from. You're creating the bot. Let me just drop this in the chat again. Hold on, where are you? There you go. So you can go and start messing around with that yourself, so you can start creating strategies. And that's, I mean, just a couple of different places that we create strategies from, right? Sometimes it's not all in the noggin. Like you want, all right, here we go, our bot is ready to start. Let me go start this bot up. Oh, you fucker. Almost. Let's fix. I was about to say, bruv, you got me. Fingers crossed. Oh, you fucker. Link doesn't work. If you wish someone else chart layout, then please ask for the owner to enable the layout sharing to publish it. Okay, that makes, okay, the link doesn't work. Give me a second, let me go try that out, because it was just working. Give me a second. I didn't know you can ask them. I'll definitely do that. Well, let's try this again. At first you don't succeed, try again, right? All right, almost there. Goodness gracious, almost there. The method is connect and not initialize. Bruh. At first you don't succeed. Try again. We have our bot has lifted off. I mean, I can make this look a little bit better. I think that's going to be on my time though. But I just wanted to show y'all that we have our bot, ladies and gentlemen. We've created our bot. I feel like Dr. Frankenstein. We have our monster, ladies and gentlemen. Most people get that confused. I don't know why, but hey, it's in the name. But it's not. I can see why you get that confused. How you think that Frankenstein is the monster. What is Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein's monster's name then? Is his monster? Okay, I'm sorry. All right. It's working. Let's continue to the log analyzer now. Let me make sure if I can. Okay, beautiful. We got a bot that is ready to go, man. I can't wait to paper trade this tomorrow. I mean, there's a couple things that I'm just going to beautify, just make it look a little bit more pleasing. But I can do that on my time, right? But for right now, I'm just going to finish up with this log analyzer so y'all can see the entire process, so you don't feel like I cheated you from anything. Where we created all the files that we needed to do. I'm not going to hold you. I need to create a change log. I need to create a bot context, but that's some shit that I can do on my time, not your time. But it took us just under 3 hours to be able to create a strategy, back test the strategy, make sure that strategy is valid over a couple of years, and then being able to create the bot for the strategy. So all of this we did just under 3 hours. So I'm kind of excited about that. I have a few other bots that I still need to make, but y'all saw how long this took just to make this bot, right? Normally it doesn't take me 40 minutes to an hour to make a bot. Like I could breeze through it in like 20 minutes, especially if I'm coding it myself, maybe like 30 if I'm coding it myself. But again, why not just use AI, right? It just, I don't know, it's just been running a little bit slower today, but whatever. We're almost done. As soon as it's done here, then I'm going to fix up a couple things on my end. All right, Guopiter. There we go.
It's for somebody special. Yeah. Can't wait it out.
We have it. I feel like Rocky when I just ran up the stairs and I'm like celebrating right now. It's like Rocky running up the stairs right now, bro. Dun, 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 dun. Yep, that's what I feel like right now. There you go, man. It took us quite some time to be able to create all these files, right? So we created all these files. The bot is ready to start paper trading tomorrow. So I will be back tomorrow. I want to say like around 8:30, 8:45-ish a.m. EST in order to trade. The market opens at 9:30. Wait, there's no holiday. Tomorrow's the 23rd. Because last week it was President's Day. That just kind of snuck up on me. No, tomorrow there's no holidays. Nope, we just in that thing. All right, beautiful. So market is open tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. So I will be here just a few more moments before. Maybe I'll create another bot with y'all. I don't know. Or maybe I'll just go through a back test, or just maybe going over how to read charts. I don't know yet. Or just read news. I don't know. We'll figure that out once we get there. But listen, Chief, everybody that stopped by today, I really do appreciate y'all. If y'all do have any other comments, questions, or concerns, please make sure you drop it in the comments. This is a community that I'm trying to cultivate here. I'm not claiming to know everything, but what I am claiming to do is to be a little bit more consistent. It is your boy Creative. I'll be back at it again with another episode. And if you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like and subscribe button. If you loved it, maybe somebody else will dig it too.